Oh hi! It's been so nice out lately that I thought I'd try and set things up to do some outdoors sleeping, but I think I might be using this hammock wrong. Whether it's to protect you from bugs, rain, wind, or crazy temperatures, it's important to know how to use, find, or even make shelters. Even a hammock can act as a basic type of shelter. Being up off of the ground protects me from dampness and crawling bugs, and hammocks with a bug net over them, which this one doesn't have, can be nice for camping out overnight when you know the weather is going to be mild and nice. When you do set up a hammock, it kind of has to be between two trees, so you always have to make sure you check that there are no dead or broken branches over top of you. And sometimes a hammock isn't enough protection. So here are some of my friends to tell you about some other types of shelters.
Hey friends, it's Alex. I've been a counselor at West River for 4 out of the 5 past summers. And I'm here to talk to you today about tents, shelters, and safety. So this here's my tent, and it's a great shelter because it keeps out all the animals and bugs, and it has a rain fly on it, so it'll keep out rain and different types of weather. Some tips I have about tent safety are bring something bright and shiny with you, like cones, to put near the stakes so that you won't trip over them in the middle of the night. If you forget those, you can always use a crock, but you might want to use one that's a little bit brighter than mine so you can see it at night. A second tip I have for you is to make sure you remember a hammer or mallet, because today I did not, and therefore I had to use my, once again, crock to put my stakes in the ground. Also, side tip, bring crocks, they're super useful. Back to my tent tips. My tent has a tarp on the bottom to keep out the rain and dew from coming inside the tent, but if your tent doesn't have that, you may want to bring a tarp with you. Another tip, make sure you take off your shoes before you get in the tent so you don't bring in any dirt with you. Ow! And my last tip is make sure that you clear the ground under the tent before you get in the tent so that you don't get poked by any sticks or rocks. Thanks, guys.
Hi everyone, Amanda here. I have been on program staff at West River for the past 2 summers, and today I wanted to show you my shelter. What's great about this shelter is it's made from a tarp, so water comes right off of it, and on the inside I stay nice and dry, which is super important. And it has some great coverage, you know? It just has this little opening, but other than that, I'm fully covered. The only bad part about this shelter is, as you can see, there is no AC or heating, so it gets extremely hot during the day and freezing at night, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Also, there's no floor, but the grass is pretty comfy. To make this shelter, all you gotta do is find 2 trees that are close next to each other and tie a rope connecting to those 2 trees and just place your tarp right over it, and that's all. Thank you.
So what really is a shelter with all of these options? Well, a shelter is any structure that protects you from things that can cause you discomfort or harm. In the Bible, God's love is compared to a shelter a lot of times, especially in the Psalms. In Psalm 91, it calls God my refuge and my fortress. Psalm 27 says, "The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid?" And Psalm 36 says, "How precious is your steadfast love, O God! All people may take refuge in the shadow of your wings." The things that God's love protect us from aren't necessarily bugs or rain. What is there in your life that might be causing you discomfort or harm? The nice thing about God's love as a shelter is that we don't need to remember to choose it or find it or set it up. It's already there, around us and over us. My challenge for you this week is to build a shelter. Get creative. It could be something outside using natural materials, or a blanket in your room. Whatever it is, you should try to make it something that can stand up on its own and that can protect you from something, whether that something is rain, wind, light, an annoying sibling, or anything that you need protecting from. Don't forget, we want to see what you come up with, so send a picture to the email on the screen. See you next week!